How do you up-level your artwork? In this video, I'm going to show you how to add depth, clarity, and interest to any art. I'm going to show you how I took my oil painting to the next level with an epoxy clear coat. I did the same thing with one of the acrylic pours that I did. What's your favorite medium to work with, and what kind of art do you create? That's the question of the day. Let us know in the comments below. Remember, when you subscribe to our channel, click on the red subscribe button and be sure to ring the bell so you get notified every time we have a new video. Thanks again. Here's a sneak peek at some art that I created last night. Check it out. All right, I'm gonna make a cover for my paintings. I know I'm gonna clear coat a couple of different paintings for this project, and I wanna cover them so after I get everything laid out like a sheet of glass, I can cover it so I know when I come back tomorrow, it will be just as perfect as the way that I left it. All I'm gonna do is rip down some material and then pin nail and glue it together so I have a lightweight cage. I'll grab some scrap material. If you don't have a lot of woodworking equipment, you can do the same thing out of PVC pipe. Just go to your local hardware store, grab some T's and some different elbows, and you can make your own custom cage for whatever size project you have. P10 and my activator, this will glue it up really fast for me. "10 seconds and it's dry." That's pretty cool. 8, 9, 10. Told you. 10 seconds. Let's make 8-inch feet on them, just so we know that our plastic stays out of our art. Let's do that. 4 feet. Let's do. Oh wait, we got a middle too. Should we put one in the middle so it doesn't sag? All right, let's do it. That'll stop the plastic from blowing in on the sides too, having feet in the middle too. Then I'll put plastic over that. You can use 3 mil plastic. I just grabbed some painter's plastic because I'll be changing the plastic out, but let's just test it with this and see if it's good enough. All right, I'm gonna flip this over and cut off the excess. Where's the end?
At the beginning.
That extra tape at the bottom will give the plastic a little bit of weight so it doesn't want to blow around, stuff like that. This will be super easy to lay down, really easy to transport, and it'll protect my artwork from bugs and dust. I like it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you got a better idea? What do you use to protect your work? Okay guys, I love to paint. I like doing acrylic pours as well as oil painting. In this video, I'm going to show you how to coat your paintings with clear epoxy like a pro. Our art coat is designed specifically for artists. It's UV resistant, scratch resistant, heat resistant. It's easy to use, it's do-it-yourself friendly, there's zero VOC, there's no noxious smell, it's fun to work with. Let's get started. I came to the shop last night and I painted a landscape. Now this was done with oil paints. So oil paints need to dry. You don't want to cover them with epoxy until they're fully set up and cured. So I have a painting that I've previously done. It's ready to coat. It's fully dry, and this acrylic painting is in the same position. It's fully dry. I had a blast making this with Marcy, the mixed media girl. She taught me how to do a tree ring pour with acrylics. The blues, everything came out beautiful. We're going to coat both of these and show you how you take a painting from good to great. Here we go. We're going to use a 1-to-1 ratio. It's easy to measure. You only need about 3 ounces per square foot. We're going to trowel with a 1/8 by 1/8 square notch trowel. We'll chop that out with our chop brush, and then we'll simply torch the bubbles out. It's good to have the epoxy warmed up to room temperature. You don't want it super cold, because then when you go to mix it, your bucket's going to want to spin because the epoxy's thick and it'll just want to create that traction. I'm going to use a mixing paddle. You can use a stir stick, but just be sure to vigorously mix. I'm going to mix with my mixing paddle for 2 minutes. I like to keep this fully submerged so I don't entrain too much air. That makes it a lot easier to torch the bubbles out when I apply it to my art. You also know that you're getting a good mix when the epoxy starts to clear up. Because I have it warm, it's at 70 degrees in my room right now, everything's becoming crystal clear in the bucket. If it stays white in the bucket, it's because your epoxy's a little cold or you whipped a lot of air in it. Don't worry, the air will come out. All you got to do is heat that up with a torch or a heat gun and torch it multiple times for that to clear up. Epoxy's fun to do. Experience goes a long way. So start on some practice boards or some art that isn't commissioned that you're going to sell right away, and get your practice under your belt. And this will give you more confidence to be a pro when it really counts. I love what epoxy does to paintings. Have you ever seen those abstract paintings with really bold colors? You put epoxy over them, it adds depth and character to the paintings. I like what it does to my oil paintings as well as my acrylics. Watch what it does. I want you to keep in mind what it looked like before and then after. This is a big change. It's subtle, but it just makes the work look that much better. Here's another pro tip. We're going to scrape the bottom and the sides of the bucket with a mixing paddle going at a slow RPM. I never really mix this full speed because it's a small batch. You don't want to do that. But I'm going to slow it down even more and scrape the bottom and the sides. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. Makes that water look real, man.
It does.
All right, here we go. Just light pressure is all you need. It really enhances that. It's like HD for your artwork. High definition artwork right here. Wow. That's gonna be so cool. All right, we're gonna chop this one out here. I'm going to remove any loose bristles on my brush. I'll prime my brush, and then I'm going to chop it out. I don't have a gallery wrap on this piece, so the edges I'm not super concerned with. I'll brush those out. I'm also going to put this up on pyramids and not let it glue to the table. I'll do that after I'm done chopping it out. So you can see that there are some dry spots when you trowel. Sometimes you miss a corner or an edge. That's another reason the brush helps you. It not only helps remix the material so that if you didn't scrape those edges, it's insurance that you're not going to have sticky spots on your artwork. It also breaks any surface tension that you may leave on that perimeter. Make sure you chop it with a brush. When artists want their work to remain crystal clear, they choose Art Coat. This is a fun product to work with. I'm going to show you exactly how easy it is to get it to lay out like a sheet of glass. Okay, we've troweled our material, we've chopped it. I'm going to put it up on my paint pyramids, making sure that I put it on the wood, the actual frame, and not the canvas. It's going to poke up the canvas if I let it support itself by the canvas. Before you torch your art, remember this pro tip. We're going to start the torch off the piece. We're going to make sure there's no dust left in the torch head, and then we'll bring it over and pop those bubbles. I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, I'll torch that again, and then a third time just to be safe. Remember, you can do multiple coats. If you have a large canvas that's not super tight, it may be concave a little bit, you might want to do multiple coats. Wherever the low point is, that's where the epoxy is going to settle. If you want a perfectly flat finish with no imperfections on that outside rim, you can do multiple coats. A lot of times that's not necessary. I love how these came out. Visit us anytime at stonecoatcountertops.com and check out Art Coat so you can coat your paintings and bring them to life. We'll see you soon. It's safe. Yes.